transition.
Look at him.
It's
Look, he's looking
transitioned
at
now.
stuff.
It's good now.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Dog distraction.
Yes, I was very distracted. So I just want to say hello, everybody, and welcome to Heart of the Game here on Twitch. We are a local gaming store with dreams of sharing our passion of gaming with the world here on Twitch and via our YouTube channel. So depending on which way you're watching this. Just want to say welcome. We appreciate everybody who's tuning in tonight, and we hope that you have a lot of fun watching the show. So we have Mr. Randall the Agile, played by Wolf, who has a dog in his lap.
Murph.
And we have Navari, the tiefling, played by Ashley. Now, last week, if you did not get a chance to watch or haven't caught up yet, because we had some technical errors at the shop this week, so I've still not been able to upload that to YouTube, so that is why it's late. So if you haven't seen it, it's not because you missed it, it's because it's not there yet. Hopefully we'll have that straightened out for tomorrow. But in case you missed last week's episode, our players have spent some time in the Mournland, and they stopped off at a little border town called Salvation. While they were waiting for transportation to get back to Shard, they took up a bit of a job, a little bit of a bounty, you could say, and went out into the Mournland where they encountered some very strange creatures, like some form of monstrous aberrations, and they had taken some captives who were doing a bit of a job out there, and our players had to deal with a very terrifying monster that was an amalgamation of humanoid creatures brought back to life as just this horrendous beast. And while that was going on, they also needed to recover a piece from this arcane artillery piece that had been abandoned out in the Mournland, in the field, you could say, from the last war. And so they had recovered that item, they brought it back to Salvation, collected their loot, and since then have been able to... Yes, Navari.
How much money did we get for it?
You guys were only paid 100 gold pieces for that job.
Oh, 50 each?
Yes, 50.
Well, if we split the cost that we worked out, because that was 50 gold, I think, is what I agreed to pay him.
Yeah, that was what you were going to pay.
I thought it was
you guys
20, because you
hoping
paid
to
some
find
upfront.
Yeah, it was. I paid 25 up front, 25 after.
a little double cross action.
It's not
'Cause you
double
were
crossing.
It wasn't double crossing. He
You
said
were,
he
you were
wasn't
going
going to pay us.
see if you could find a better buyer with some of...
In our defense,
I-
I asked if he would pay us if we got it as like a side mission, because we weren't originally hired to get it.
That's
No, we
true.
weren't.
So it was our
And
option to get
And
it.
he said, and all he said was, we'll consider the debt even,
Mhm,
which Randall took as, well, clearly it's worth more than what you're willing to pay me, or what I'm offering to pay you just for information.
So we did
So-
pay them back, though. We gave them the rest of
Yeah,
the money.
Well, we hadn't gotten there. I thought when we ended last session, we were like, we could talk to Phelan to basically figure out where we might go and pawn this piece off.
Phelan knows some people, and as you learned, his wagon has a compartment, so
Mhm.
he can sneak things in, maybe a little tax-free, like duty-free across borders, or perhaps bring in things that people don't want within their borders.
Yeah.
But they're folk who have a desire for certain things and are willing to pay. And Phelan is somebody who has not only the resources but the willingness to kind of make those kind of things happen.
So how do we want to split the money?
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, we can. Oh wait, wow, not in character at all. Worst case scenario, lass, is that I could give you. You could take half, and I'll take my half, and give him half, which means I earn back my money that I paid him for it.
Well, you can take a bit more since you've been paying for things. I'll take 25 gold if you want to take the rest.
That'd be
75.
appreciated.
Yeah, go ahead and take 75 and I'll take 25.
All right, we gotta go talk to that blighter.
Who?
Yeah, my accent's gonna be all over the place today.
Which accent did you start with?
I started with like a Scottish brogue slash Irish accent. I'm sure I'll find it before the end of today. My mind is just, it's here, but it's not here.
It's all right.
Remember,
It's all
you're
right.
a dwarf.
Whist, or no, Zodor Terev is who I think we needed to talk to.
Where'd my
Or
notes go?
Zodor was the one. Zodor is the one we talked to who sent us towards the guy who pointed us towards.
Yeah,
Whist.
Zodor is the shifter that we talked to first. I think now we're leaving because we finished the mission.
Yeah, well, and that was the whole point. Like, we talked to Zodor, the shifter, who pointed us towards an individual whose name I didn't have in my notebook.
Durev.
Was it Terev?
Durev.
Oh, whoops. I misallocated some things.
And then, yeah, it was, Zodor headed us to Durev, who was the salvage market dude with the halfling bodyguard, who pointed us to the changeling Whist.
Got it.
But now, because we finished that mission, so I'm assuming we're going to meet Lady Aladrin, whatever other E-names we can think of.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt your
Oh, you guys are good.
asking that question.
You're okay. No, it's good that you guys remember and can fill in things. Cause like, even I forget things because I haven't been able to watch. Like normally, I'll watch last week's episode and go through and get some more notes, but I couldn't do that this week's.
Well, lass, I'd say that we need to head back over to Terev then and pay him his due.
But
Let
we
him know
named
that
Terev, or you paid Terev, didn't you? He
no,
hates you.
when we had. Well, I haven't. I was figuring Benz might want to have a conversation because I'm sure Terev is not. Oh no, I figured Terev wasn't going to be too happy about us selling his item to somebody else.
It wasn't his item. He
well,
didn't know
an
anything
item
about
he
it.
had requested.
He didn't request it.
Yeah, he did.
Sort of. Yeah, he tacked it on to the objective. Like if you guys could get that extra piece, because he's kind of bullying you.
Oh no, that was.
He doesn't know.
He's bullying Randall.
That wasn't.
Yeah,
Randall's
he
just like
know whether or not you succeeded on that. What he knows is that you guys were able to get the relic back for the church, and that all his goons are dead. Like goons, I should say goons. I'd say freelance employees.
Right.
Sorry, I got confused. I thought
his
you
gig workers.
I thought I have under the name for the shifter Zodor Terev.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. It's Zodor Terev was the shifter,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't remember the name of the guy that
starts with a D.
Starts with a D.
Yep. I can't spell, so my name's probably off.
Neither can I, but I just assume I guessed right.
For the last name, I put Sheldor. Don't trust me because I'm bad at spelling.
We're asking God now. God can tell us. God knows all. God, what was the name of the nefarious dealer that we dealt with that hired Whist or his thugs
to get the relic thing?
The one who wanted us to go out and gave us the information about
we already
Whist.
paid him, though.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna assume that, and I'm marking it off on my sheet, but I was trying to get the name from him. And I think I understood. If I recall correctly, I kind of figured out what the
Derev Shaldor.
Derev.
Yes,
See,
that was
right.
the salvage broker that wanted you guys to find Whist, who had been killed, and stole the arrow of truth.
I told you it was Derev.
And then yeah, definitely we would have made our way over to Johanna and given her the artifact.
Didn't we take a bath there too? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. They have some of the finest baths you'll find, well, anywhere near here.
I
I
bet.
know the accent.
All right. So we will pick up with you guys and Phelan traveling back to Rukandral, which is where he is going to drop you guys off so you can reunite with Lady Eladrin, so you could tell her the story of your encounters in the Mornland, and more importantly, give her the schema, the very thing that you are hired to recover from Whitehearth. So this time the journey is very uneventfully with Phelan. There is a moment of where you could see that he's a very intense look upon his face as you guys cross a border, but simply enough, if they were searching for something within the wagon, they didn't find it. So once they tell you guys to go about your business and to move along, he seems to get more relaxed. And you guys return to the Dakani city of Rukandral, where you are brought to the meeting place for Lady Eladrin. And she seems very happy to see you guys, but she's still dressed in the very common clothing that she was the last time you saw her in the city. And she's not wearing her signet ring on the outside, so she seems to still be laying low. The first thing she notices when she sees you is that there's only two of you. And she says, "Please tell me nothing too horrible happened to your third friend."
No, she went to do her own thing for a bit.
As people must sometimes
Mhm.
go to pursue their own quest. There's nothing wrong with that. But please sit down. I have the finest wine I could acquire here at the table for you, Navari, and Randall. Something a bit coarser. Not my taste, but from what I understand, you will enjoy this.
I mean, I'm not particularly picky.
That's the
It's
accent.
basically like a second bottle, and it just has like a skull and crossbones on it, and like a warning
Perfect.
label written in Goblin.
I'm not a big fan of goblins, but they make a pretty fine drink.
So she says, "Please sit down and, what did you find at Whitehearth? I mean, what did you find the next piece?"
Well, the piece didn't give it to her. There was a fake one as well, but we kind of had to give that away to draw someone off our tail.
So there was two.
Yeah, it was a
There
fake
appeared to be
one,
a fake, yeah.
and then this one.
The fake, was there anything? Did it seem like it was? Do you remember anything about the craftsmanship to it? Did it feel like it was inadequate? Did it seem like it was very inferior, or was it
Yes,
quite close?
it was like later. If I remember correctly, out of character, it was later.
Mhm.
Uh,
Interesting.
oh,
And
okay.
who did you give it to?
Well, you see, we were surrounded and everything, and it's from the same dude, General Lord. Where'd his name go? Krieg.
Garrick Krieg of the Emerald Claw.
Oh, so that's the bloke's name. He never really gave it to me.
Oh, you didn't
He
know
just
it?
decided that he needed to.
I've
No,
heard
wait, you're telling me
stories.
you people have run into him before?
I have ran into him a few times.
God, that guy was such an. I'm not going to say it in front of a lady, but let's just say I've got a few choice words for the fella if I ever run into him again.
I've heard of him. I've never met him myself, she says to you. But the stories are, some sound like myths, others could be true, but he was a ruthless general fighting on behalf of Karnath, and apparently now he's taken up with some extremists. They call themselves the Emerald Claw. Madmen and psychopaths, if you ask me. But they're after the schemas as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're telling me? And you gave them the cloned one, so they do
Yeah.
not have the real one.
Yeah.
Because
No.
that is here in front of me. That is troubling, to say the least, that they're hunting for them.
Oh, also, the place that you sent us to, that's part of your house, right?
It was long ago, yes.
Everyone was kind of like burned to death from flame thing. I brung back, a signet ring of your house.
Yes, the day of mourning was devastating to many, and people in many places were unable to escape the fates. I've heard terrible things of people being warped, burned, some just dropping, perfectly preserved as if nothing happened.
Yeah, this looked like a
Mhm.
spell gone awry.
Yeah.
Whatever maybe kept your furnaces running hot, getting loose and scorching the place. And
Yeah.
more than a few of your acolytes as well.
I kind of take the signet ring out and kind of like hold it out to her. She wants it.
What was that feller's name again? The one you mentioned, the guy who apparently Navari's run into before?
Sir Garrick Krieg.
Sir Garrick Krieg. And you just see Randall taking out like a dagger and etching that crap into his axe handle.
Okay.
Like, I got your number now, friend.
Does she take the signet ring then?
She does, and she looks at it very solemnly. It's possible I can find the family that this belongs to.
I figured you'd probably want it back.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Probably.
But,
If it's worth noting, we did take that Krieg down a notch, and along with a couple of his followers.
that's good to hear. I imagine there were undead amongst them as well.
Definitely.
Not with them, though. There was undead in the field that we were in. It was
No,
some
he brought
glass
undead the
war.
next time, I think, too. When he
No?
came for the
It was just regular thugs, Navari.
Oh.
He had regular thugs, and then he had the one witch that I put down before I tried to deal with him.
The knight?
Yeah, sure. The witch.
The one that I helped stab?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay.
The one I cut the head off of.
Oh, okay.
Or did I smash it? I can't really remember. It's all kind of a blur after you maim a couple of those undead folk.
Everything goes to a blur sometimes. Forgive us.
It seems that even though this land has been at peace for 2 years, the horrors of war will never end. But if the Emerald Claw, these extreme, if they are after it, that means I may have use of you still. They're searching for more parts of the schema, the creation pattern, because they
Since
may
we
have
a moment, what is this scree that you keep mentioning, or schema? What are we actually after here? I kind of came into this a little I kind of fell into it, actually.
It's all components to a creation pattern. The exact details of said pattern have well, they're lost, but we use it at House Cannith to create technological magical wonders, such as the Warforged. Hopefully this one will lead to something that's less destructive in its creation, but ultimately I do not want to have this item in the hands of such horrible people, such as the Emerald Claw. My fear is that they're like warmongers, and they may want to reignite the old flames of aggression and plunge our world into chaos once again. So hopefully, if we can stop them from getting all these components, and we can get to them first, we can prevent that.
I agree. I don't want
But I
that.
have I have to talk to my superiors. And I have to do more research to see if we can find where other pieces may be hidden. Because as a security measure, those who are studying it did not have all the pieces in one place.
Seems like a wise choice.
Yes, indeed. That way it keeps that much power from hopefully falling into the hands of one person.
And just to verify, are you asking us to try and work together to bring all these items to one place now?
Not yet. I need to get more information for you. But I will be in touch. I
Indeed.
definitely will be in touch.
Do
I might seek out the church for some of that information if I can.
you
They might
mind?
have some knowledge.
Sorry, I thought you
Oh,
were
I'm
done.
sorry, Navari.
No, it's fine. I thought you were
it's
done.
all
It's
right.
my fault. You can continue.
No, that was the end of the thought.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really bad. I thought
Yeah,
people
it's
were
all right.
done talking.
It's all right.
Do you mind if I like ask for a favor as well, as we continue helping?
You know what? I suppose it's the least I can do is offer a favor in return for the things that you've accomplished for me.
I was just hoping to help. I just need help finding someone.
Well, who are you looking for?
I'm looking for me daughter and husband.
Okay. Well, perhaps through my travels and through the network of House Cannith, I might be able to come up with something.
Yeah, they're
Just check back at the message, the House Orion message facility in Sharn, in the Tower District, where we originally met.
You said check back there.
Yes, I will leave. Well, when I need you again, I will have a message there for you.
Alright.
It'll be.
You're not gonna send it by bird again?
No, not this time. At least don't expect it to be the same way. How does that sound?
Okay.
I like to change things up. Keeps my enemies on their toes, and it keeps others who may be in danger safe.
Makes sense. Alright. Here we go. I had to write a note. But I'll probably forget.
That's okay. I gotta take a lot of notes too. Alright, so you guys, Lady Eladrin does pay you guys as promised. She gives you 1,000 gold pieces in platinum. So that way it's not like you're not carrying as many coins, but you still have a few.
Money.
So
Yeah.
that's 50?
That's 500 gold a piece.
Yeah, but in
equivalent.
platinum.
Oh, 50
50.
coins.
Okay.
Yep. So depending on what your numbers are looking like,
What are your numbers looking like?
I'm closing in on over 1,000 gold.
I think I'm over 1,000 gold.
Well, you've been doing this longer, lass. You have to remember that I'm a Templar Knight. I'm a paladin of the Order of the Silver Flame. We're not used to getting paid for this sort of thing.
Don't worry, I'm sure my number will go down here soon.
Oh, I'm sure it will too. You spend a lot of your money on drink and fancy finer things.
I would never.
Mm-hmm. It's just like,
All right, so you guys find transport and get back to.
Just tell us where we're going now?
Oh, you guys are gonna go back to Sharn with her,
Oh, okay.
because that's where the closest major temple to the Silver Flame would be, where Randall would be able to try to get some more information from potentially, and it's also a place where you've kind of set up your headquarters, so to speak, to find Casper and your daughter, and it's a place that you guys have kind of been living sort of for the last few months,
Okay.
so to speak.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. If he goes to the church, though, there, I'm probably not going to go to the church.
So this time, as you journey back to Sharn, you are not ambushed by any kind of undead along the way, which is good. Out on the water, and you get there safely and kind of uneventfully. But that doesn't mean that everything's hokey dory, so to speak. And I just closed something I didn't want to close.
No. It's the monster
Ah.
stats for what we're fighting.
Hush your mouth.
What a quiet ride it's been, Randall.
Yeah, it's nice not having. I mean, wait, where's Phelan? Immediately looks around for Phelan.
You don't find him. Unfortunately, he seems to have disappeared.
Phelan,
Oh,
no.
Randall like rolls his eyes at that sentiment and is just like, well, better quiet than possibly indicted for some random business that he gets himself into.
Right? Yeah. You
I-
end up finding something that you didn't want to. Absolutely understand that.
I didn't get to say goodbye, though.
Oh,
I have a feeling he'll come back again someday.
Bye,
he's
Phelan.
like a lost puppy.
Just yelling to the crowd, bye, Phelan. If he yells back.
You don't get a response from him back.
Aw.
But then you guys arrive back in Sharn, and it's gloomy and damp, which is very common for the City of Towers to be. And you guys spend a little bit of time on your own. Relaxing, maybe partying a little, enjoying the comforts of having a bit of excessive wealth.
Randall immediately.
How
Yeah,
much money
Randall's
do
like-
I lose? How much money do I lose, Ben?
Let's see. We will talk. We will find that out for. But you spend some money enjoying your well-earned rewards, I will say. And Randall, you are not someone who is subtle in the way that you dress. So
No.
during one of the days, as you are exploring the city and enjoying your time for not being in a fight for a few days, being able to relax, clean up, get your clothes washed, maybe get some new clothing items, refill your flask.
Definitely also making a point to. I'm checking out like basically job boards and stuff, or checking in with like town guards and seeing what needs to be done that maybe doesn't require a solo fight.
Okay. Well, there's
Lifting
always
barrels.
bounties and bodyguard positions and
Yeah, more like I'm working towards like, oh hey, this poor farmer's roof is down and he needs help repairing it, or
Oh, okay.
that kind of stuff. Like
So in this
avoiding
city,
the fight.
yeah. No, well, in Sharn, it's going to be
Seems like everywhere I go is a fight. It's not a big deal. It's just
police
more of,
duties kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
this is a very, very large city. It's not
Right.
like a simple task typically. Not
okay.
a bad thing necessarily, but it can always be a little bit. You can always be like a pain in the butt. That's for sure. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
My
Now,
opinion.
also because we are in Eberron, it is possible that you guys can because magic items are a little bit more prevalent. You guys can purchase magic items here. Anything that is either common is almost always going to be able to be found, and anything uncommon has a very high chance to be found as well. Anything higher than that, uh, you're going to have to do some legwork to discover things like that. And I have pricing for all of these things,
Mm,
just so you know.
I don't know what that.
Well, if that's the case, Randall might go on a bit of an expedition, seeking out an enchanter within the church,
Hmm.
since he knows that there's enchanters within the
Okay.
Church of the Silver Flame.
Yeah.
Um, and he's going to see about what he can do to possibly get a specific kind of enchantment done on his axe to help relegate how much spell usage he does.
Can I look for more health potions? I don't have any idea for magic items at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Can I get back to you on that, like, after the game?
Yeah, we can always talk about that between sessions and
Okay.
stuff. So as far as potions of healing go, absolutely can find those. Those are 50 gold pieces each.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
want some potions?
I'll probably need some based on the current track record that we're going, but like no, I like 2. I can give you like 100 gold.
No, it's fine. How many health potions would or how much platinum would 5 health potions be?
Well, one platinum is 10 gold. So 5 platinum would be 1 potion.
5 platinum
So
would
5
do?
times 5. So
25.
25 platinum.
25.
Yeah.
25.
I'll spend 25 platinum and I'll give you 2 health potions and I'll take 3.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll mark that down that I have 3 now.
uh,
I'm getting better about not switching my screen.
I'm gonna quickly use the restroom while you
Okay.
do your magic item
Yeah,
thing.
mine may or may not take some haggling and some negotiations.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I asked first. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
You're
I just
fine, you're
don't know
good.
what magic item I want, so I'm like, I want the
I know
magic.
exactly what magic item I want because it's not a magic item. It's more I want to enchant the stuff I have
Oh, okay. Good luck.
with very
Gotcha.
specific enchantments because it's a lot cheaper if I already have the material and all you need to do is put the magic into it. But I also don't know how long that will take because if it's typical enchantment times, it's going to be a while.
Hmm. Okay, so you end up finding a church, and it's funny because as you're walking there to one of the temples, there are 2 young-looking soldiers in full regalia, swords sheathed, shields on their backs, spears in their hands, um, and they actually walk up to you, and they meet you kind of halfway down the street. And they look at you, Randall, and the more brave, I guess, of the 2 says to you, "Are you Randall the Agile?"
Depends on who's asking.
"My master, Sir Drozen Larendazi, is asking. He said you are a loyal but honorable man."
That'd be me. I'd be Randall.
"Would you mind coming with us? We have to take you through to a place. We cannot have this conversation in the church. Sir Drosen does not want other eyes or ears to see who he's talking to or hear what he says. He needs somebody he can trust."
Well, then you've come to the right place. Lead the way.
So they lead you to a
What was the last name too, Ben? Sir Drazi what?
Larendazi. Sir Drosen Larendazi.
Larendasi?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, I'm and so and do I recognize the name? as they're
Yeah,
mentioning it.
so you remember Sir Drozen. He was somebody that you fought with during your time spent with the actual Templar Knights. He was somebody who his thinking, his like alignment very much coincides with yours. Somebody
Right.
who's very, very honorable. Um, somebody who is not an extremist by any means, like somebody who's very moderately thinking, somebody who it doesn't just want to follow orders blindly. So whatever is going on, definitely this is somebody that you would like, your character Randall definitely felt a connection with. And so like as time has gone on, you've fallen out. Like you guys weren't like best friends, but you're someone like you guys could trust each other. You could rely on each other.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And he's a human, so he's probably much older than you remember him.
Oh yeah.
Because they age so much faster than dwarves.
Well, yeah, especially since I kind of went senile for 20 years. So
Yeah. Yep. Since you took some time that, you know. So they take you to a very gloomy kind of area, a place that it's basically a dive bar. It's called the Fiery Antelope. So there's like a head of an antelope mounted above the door, and
okay.
painted behind it is like flames to give it this kind of. And the flames are done up in a like a gray, as opposed to like a silver paint. So it's almost as if this place is kind of like it's like a signal to those who might be of the silver flame. Like this would be a safe house, perhaps in the city, but it keeps it kind of at the same time. It's still like, oh, it's the Fiery Antelope. Like most people would know that. They wouldn't see that connection. So when you come inside with the two young men, they open the door for you and hold it. And one of them like whispers, he says, just head to the back quarter table and Sir Drosen will meet you there. And then they immediately leave because they don't want to draw more attention.
Right. And you just see Randall head back, and as he sits down at the thing, he calls over a barmaid. He's pulling out his own flask and
Yeah.
taking a hit from his own flask and says, I'll take let's make it 4. 4 ales, two with a couple of shots in them.
She nods politely and runs to the back, and a few moments go by and she comes out with a tray of drinks and she puts them all on the table. She says, by yourself today, I see.
Meeting a friend.
A friend. May the flame keep you warm, she says, and you notice on her right hand she does have a ring indicating that she's also a member of the Silver Flame. And you realize that like this is very much because like we're in a time that espionage and cloak and dagger very like you want to hide, you want to keep people safe, but there's a lot going on.
No, I just like how you're like, it's cloak and dagger. Everybody wants to hide what they're a part of, and Randall's just walking around strutting the big old Silver Flame emblem on his freaking chest.
But you're
and
also
his
not
axe has it emblazoned.
you're not like in the courts. You're
No,
not
I'm
like
not.
in the politics of it all. So like you have that luxury still.
Right. And I pass her a gold piece for the drinks.
Mhm.
And say, and always with you. And I take one of those drinks and I slam it immediately.
Nice.
Because I already know this is not going to be a fun conversation.
So as you sit down, another 2 minutes go by, and an older gentleman wearing very fine clothing. You could see that he has the physique of somebody who's very strong in his youth, and like he hasn't lost all that by any means, but you could see like just like his face, like he's definitely aged a lot, and his hair is very white and long. He keeps it tied back in a ponytail, and he walks up to you, and he sits down, and he says, "Randall, there's a face. I thought you were dead. Dead, that is."
Yeah. Hard to keep a good dwarf down these days, wouldn't you say?
Ain't that the truth as it is. Well, it's good to see a face that's friendly and not two-faced like everybody else in this city. The city,
Well, I mean, it's hard to find those anywhere you go, even back in our day.
True enough. But I hope you understand that I'm here to offer you a job. There's not many people I can trust, especially even within our own folk. It's very
Agreed.
disappointing. Now,
Before the business, and he gestures to the 2 drinks, and he takes his second glass and he cheers him and goes, "To the days when glory actually meant something, and not what it is these days." And he just slams the second one.
So Drosin keeps pace and hammers it back, just same as you. Just as you remember, some things just seem to never change, even with age. His ability to drink with you continues to stay. She says, "Now, I've got word that you have some traveling companions. Can they be trusted?"
And you just see Randall kind of like looking off into the distance, like a 1,000-yard stare, like, "Well, I don't know them well, but from what I've seen, they've proven the honorable sort, and they do right by me. And that's all that I can ask for."
Yeah, it's about what any of us can ask for anymore, isn't it? Anymore. But so the reason why I needed to talk to you, and not so publicly, is that a relic has gone missing.
You know, it just seems like these things keep going missing everywhere I go.
There's things going on, and it's not good. It's not good at all. This magical item is extremely dangerous. It's a weapon. It's from the war. We captured it from our enemies in Karnath. And apparently, one of the faithful has decided to turn coat, steal it from us, and he's going to return it to them. For what reason, I don't know. But it cannot be good. And there's a little more to it. He could not have done this alone, I believe. So that's why I need an outsider to come in and help.
Well, not an outsider, but I get what you're meaning.
So your companions, are they, to put it simply, if I pay them, will they help us? Or will they go turn some other way, and will this thing go missing on their behalf?
It won't go missing, not while I'm with them. And if you do pay, I mean, I know Navari, she has a taste for the finer things in life, so if the coin is good, she'll definitely do the job.
I could live with that. The coin will be good, of course. Of course.
She also might do it for a favor, depending on what kind of contacts you might have still.
Well, I'm not as young as I used to be, but I could call in. There's still enough of us alive from those days that we can gather information, make things happen. If you know what I mean.
And you just see Randall give him a wink, pull out his flask. And it's the same flask that Drosin would remember. It's all dinged up, but it's got a huge blazing silver flame on it. And he takes a huge draw from it. And he's like, "Agreed."
I'm glad to see that you still kept the faith after all this time. I don't like thinking about those days.
So, I can't even remember those days for the most part.
Lucky for you. I'm starting to get there myself, but it's mostly because my mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. My mind, that is.
Yeah, I was going to say you look a little grayer than I recall last time I saw you.
Yes, well, that's because, didn't you know, I am a member of the Silver Flames. I thought I'd look the part.
Indeed.
Well,
you're getting there. It's a little more gray than silver, but I'm sure with a little hair dye you could get there.
There are those in the city who could do that for me, but I don't like to spend money. If I looked any better, I'd have to be fighting the girls off everywhere I go.
Hey, the Drozen I know. He already had to beat him off with a stick.
Oh yes, in my youth, that is. But let's the reason I brought you here. So this Lucan Stelos, you see, he stole something. He stole the sword from us. At least we believe it was him. But the problem is not that he stole it from us. That's something we could handle on our own. Even if he is a traitor, we could still handle it. The problem is I don't think he's human anymore. We found bodies of some of our guards who were protecting the vault. Completely drained of blood. Dried to the bone. No man should have to die like that. I am afraid that Lucan has made some deal with some dark powers. Dark powers indeed, and he intends to use this sword stolen from us to cement a deal, and fears that Karnath or people who are there want to reignite some old hatreds. So that is why we can't be involved in this. We cannot pursue him into Karnath. If we do that, we could potentially violate treaties, and who knows what kind of hell could break loose again. We don't want another morning, do we?
You just see Randall look dejectedly down at the table. Then he kind of rubs his beard for a second and goes, "Aye, we don't want that. So an undercover type mission, is it?"
Yes. And I know I can trust you, Randall. If you're...
I have it not donned my armor and the things that mark me as that of the Order in so long. It's gonna feel weird for a bit. But I think I can do it.
We appreciate it. Just remember, the good that could come from his capture could prevent the deaths of an untold number. Because the last thing this land needs is for that to start up again.
Well, I have no problem doing this for you. You're an old friend and an old comrade in arms. But I have a request then. This mission is going to take me out of my comfort zone, and quite frankly, I don't know what the pay is, but I don't rightly care. I have a request that you might be able to fulfill while I'm off doing this mission for you. That was great. I was looking to go to the church, as it were, to get some items enchanted. Since I can't be bringing it along with me short of my my amulet that I carry around my neck. Maybe you could seek it out and get it enchanted for me while I'm gone and provide me at least the armor part. Some spare sets that I'm not running in naked, as it were.
Never fear that. We can definitely do that. You know, even though we're not close to home, we still have some of the best armor smiths, weaponsmiths, and fletchers this side of anywhere in the great nation. Perhaps even greater than the elves in Valinar. Valinar, that is. But we can take care of you, Randall.
I appreciate it, old friend. And Randall holds up his hand to the waitress with with 2 fingers and calls for 2 more drinks. And he like looks at her and he shouts out, "Make another one of them dirty." And as she comes over, he hands her the gold and he takes the new mug and he looks to his old friend Sir Drozen and says, "May the flame be with you."
And may the flame be with you.
And he clanks glasses and takes a huge swig out of his glass and downs it and says, "Well, I guess I should go round up me friends. see what they're about. And I'll be holding you to your promise. Maybe seek out and see who knows how to find information about captured or lost peeps or people.
I can do that. We have some some of the new recruits are very good at these kind of things, espionage and the like. So we can definitely do that.
All right. And he clasps Sir Drozen's arm, like midway down the forearm, like
Mhm.
you would, like then,
Yeah.
and gives him a sturdy shake, and then says, "Well, I'll be seeing you at the church then, or your armor smiths at the church then, and then the next day to get me armor and drop off my stuff. And I'll leave a note with you with the armor smith explaining what I want done."
Okay. That sounds good, Randall. Sounds good.
And he kind of takes his axe, which he, because to sit down, he took it off and he had it sitting there.
Oh yeah.
And he takes this thing and he just picks it up one-handed and slings it back over his back, and he just starts walking out.
All right. I am going to take a moment at the end of that scene and reload my drink. I will be right back, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Depressions.
No wrong.
Yeah, so more relics and apparently vampires.
We're level 4. I don't think we can fight a vampire unless it's a vampire
Not-
spawn.
It could be a spawn. I mean, it's Ben, and it was a former acolyte to the Silver Flame,
Hmm.
which means he probably recently was turned.
Yeah. I'm sure you can explain it all in character to Novare.
Yeah, I know, and I will. I'll get there. But I because you made the point to talk to what was her name? Lady
Eladrin?
Eladrin?
Eladrin.
Lady Eladrin about,
Eladrin.
we'll just say Lady Eladrin, but you made the point to speak to Lady Eladrin about trying to find your husband and child, and Randall was in the room with you.
Yeah. Just one
So,
problem.
Randall-
There's just one
What's that?
problem with that.
What's that?
We'll just find out in character.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because weren't they, yeah, like from what it sounded like you were trying to find them?
Yeah.
So Randall assumes they're lost,
Yeah.
or knowing the kind of crap you're into, stolen.
I don't know.
Oh my god, I love that. When your team dies in D&D, it becomes Dungeons and Depressions. Oh man. Yeah, I couldn't wear the beard today.
I was gonna ask. Randall
I couldn't.
shaved.
It was just the fact that I've been dying of sweat, and I think what I want to do is there's a costume shop near me.
Mhm.
And I'm currently working on getting another a part-time job to
Oh,
bring
okay.
in some income. So if I can, I'm going to, once I get a couple of paychecks from this part-time job, going to go to the costume shop and see if I can find some actual like costume glue,
Oh, okay.
because then I can cut those stupid straps off and I could actually like adhere it to my face so it actually works with my face.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, by the way, as a point of reference, I actually found a wig / costume like facial hair designer.
Mm-hmm.
She makes custom like beards and wigs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To get a beard done for Randall,
Mm-hmm.
like a good one, is over $1,100.
You have fun with that.
And to get and to get to get a wig that goes with it would be about another grand.
You have fun with that.
I didn't expect to do it anytime soon. I just was like, she had sent me a quote and then I guess I never got it, so she resent it to me and I checked out the quote that she gave me and I was like, oh,
Oh, that's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for, I mean, it would be nice because I could use it for like obviously like Ren fairs and stuff, but
Oh, that's
I was
true.
just
That's
like-
true.
Ren fairs, Halloween, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lemon.
And I'm back. As long as everybody can hear me just fine.
yep.
Excellent. All right.
I mean,
so,
what?
Huh? Does someone talk?
Don't you do that to me.
I only do it to Chappie. It's okay, Ben.
All right. So, Randall, did you tell Navari about your meeting, or did you go right to?
We were just talking frivolously until you were back.
Yeah,
I
we're
did
just
tell her a
we're
little-
out of character.
I did tell her
right
a
now.
little bit, but
Okay,
not all
cool.
of it.
We were like out
Very
of
cool.
character. So
Okay. No, that's all right.
no.
Telling her about the $2,000 wig that I was looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. $2,000
Very
bucks. I was
nice.
like, yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon. Holler says the stream can't hear you even when you ask.
Oh, come on!
Everybody's in on the joke.
I was the
Ah.
same trims on it too.
Hmm.
I'm gonna stop giggling. I'm gonna try to anyway.
Don't poke your eye, please.
All right. So, Randall, you're gonna leave your armor. It's a half plate, right?
Full plate.
Full plate.
They don't actually from what I saw, they don't actually have half plate. So it's just plate mail.
Yeah.
Plate mail. I like gold.
Smoking a pancake. Blunt and a waffle.
Isn't it a crepe and a pancake?
I don't
Or
remember.
crepe?
I just know there was like cigar. Some, like I don't know anything about smoking.
That's all right.
But I know
Oh,
food.
Ohana means family.
Family means no one gets left behind. Or forgotten.
Or forgotten. Yes.
Yes.
So,
It may be a
I
broken
locate
family,
Navari.
but it's
and
family.
probably the fanciest tavern / inn / whatever place this has.
Oh yes, so you find Navari in a very upscale restaurant, place that if she wasn't already there, like to kind of vouch for you, you
Mhm.
you probably wouldn't be allowed to just walk into.
Okay.
But she, as you know, she likes the finer things. So there's a lot of well-dressed social climbers there at this place, and of course Navari, who seems to be enjoying her favorite meal and a very fine bottle of wine with a name that none of us can pronounce on the bottle.
Of course.
It's in Elvish.
Never bothered to learn that language.
Me neither. How much money does
Thought
this
I'd-
cost me?
We'll find we'll
We'll figure
let
it
you
out
know.
then. Okay.
we'll tally the tab when we're done.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm so
This is
sorry.
like one of those places like you don't pay them when you go in. Like they bring you a bill when your time is up.
Sorry, I was reading chat. Somebody said
Go
I needed a golden axe. I have a golden axe and I love to swing it about.
We want to know how
So there
fast.
you are, Navari. What's that?
Want to know how fast the golden axe would get stolen?
Oh, they'd have to pry it from my cold, dead fingers.
Or take
Yes,
it when
they
you're
would.
sleeping?
It's my father's axe. Where do you think that thing sits? Under my pillow. Makes it easier to swing it out and hurt someone with it.
Alright, let's continue. I'm sorry.
So, Navari,
Yeah.
back spending money, aren't you?
Maybe.
How much have you lost? I mean, spent willingly.
Yes.
Well, I know you're going to be giving Lady Eladrin some time to find that information out for you, right?
Yeah.
I might have another job for us
What?
from an old friend.
What job?
Turns out it appears that another relic of the Silver Flame has been stolen.
You'll need better security.
Well, when the perpetrator comes from within and has been turned to apparently some form of undeath, it's kind of hard to secure against that. Apparently, he drained the guards guarding this particular relic dry.
I'm just gonna repeat, you'll need better security.
Well, you're not wrong. The order definitely needs a proper restructuring, if you will.
Oh, so this is for the order then?
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes, it's for the order, but no in the sense that hold on a second, Ben, can you pull your mic just a smidge away from your mouth? Your nose is breathing right onto the mic. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. I was just like it's like okay. He isn't necessarily with the old order anymore, but he definitely still has contacts within it. And
Okay.
it seems, as you may have pointed out, that we need better security. That not everybody can be trusted. And he doesn't know who to trust other than those of the old ways, like myself and himself, and a handful of others.
Glad
And
you're learning that.
what's that?
I'm glad you're learning that.
What do you mean? Learning what?
Nothing. Continue.
I'm so confused.
Are we getting paid for this?
Well, that's the thing. You can get paid for it if all you're wanting is money. But based on the request you put into Lady Eladrin, I figured you might be looking for something more than just money.
Like,
Well, you mentioned your husband and was it son?
no.
No,
Daughter?
daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, when you drink as often as I do, you're hard of hearing sometimes. But it sounded like they're missing, and you're trying to find them.
Yeah.
And I asked my contact within the old order and the old ways the extent of his knowledge and what his reach might be, and he said that he might be able to do some service in helping you find or locate your family.
Well, here's the thing, Randall. The higher ups in the church don't like me. So I rather not have the church help me.
Well, to be fair, the higher ups in the church don't like myself or my friend, which is why he's coming to me.
But is his contacts in the higher up?
No, some of them might be, but the contacts he has and the ones that he would trust with such delicate information. And again, I didn't give him any details or tell him anything in particular. I figured it all could be negotiated upon return. And he said that, like I said, if gold becomes your thing, that's the thing he'll pay you. And he said that it'd be well worth our while. Apparently, this relic that was stolen was something from. And before Randall says it, he kind of looks around to see if anybody's paying attention to the conversation he's having with Navari.
You guys seem good.
Okay. It appears that the relic, and he starts getting his tone lower and more into a whisper, and he pulls her in close and says, it appears that the relic that was stolen was one that we had taken or captured from Karnath during the last war. And apparently it was stolen by a Lucan Stelos.
Lucan.
Who, yeah, and I don't believe he's human anymore based on what I've been told. The fact that he drained several guards dry of all their blood.
Think he's helping General. What's his name? Creed.
It's hard to say. I don't know that this has any connection to Krieg or not, but if it does have anything to do with Garrick, then we definitely need to take care of it faster sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what he said, and you this is actually, I don't know how perceptive you are right now. I don't know how much you've had like wine wise to drink, but you're noticing for the first time Randall's not in his customary silver flame garb, and he doesn't even have his axe. In fact, what you're noticing is he has the giant maul on his back right now.
Let me just throw a roll. I mean, yeah, she's probably been drinking.
But yeah, so right now you're noticing
I know
like
you
he's not,
are, Ashley.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I have water. These are filled with water.
I wish I was drinking.
It's actually vodka. I'm sorry.
There you go. But yeah, so you're noticing for the first time during this whole conversation that Randall's not wearing his customary silver flame garb, any of it. All you can see is the silver chain that goes around his neck but disappears behind his plate mail.
Interesting.
Based on what I've been told, we're going to have to head into Karnath proper, and from what I understand, it would break the treaty if they were to locate or find out that any of the Order of the Silver Flame were there. So
It's a good thing I'm not from the Order.
you say that, yet you don't want to turn to them for information.
Yes. So here's the thing.
There's
Poli-
always a thing with you.
Politics are strange. In politics, there's the higher up politics, but also the church was involved in politics. Like the higher ups, not like you.
Not my order, I understand. The Templar Knights were not necessarily. We were the
Well-
hammer.
Well, it was the higher ups of the church are involved in politics. Too.
Correct.
Yes.
There's two sides to the Order of the Silver Flame. There's the political side and the acolytes that generally work under those particular priests and God, I can't think of the word now. Like an actual, it's the same word for like Pope and under them.
We'll just pretend I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's cardinals. The
Yeah.
cardinals would be like the higher ups of the church.
Yeah. The is also whispering too. By the
Yeah,
way.
no, and to be
But-
honest with you, the people that my friend, my contact, by the way, I give this to you, not for you to use in any nefarious needs. I've only seen good from you, but that doesn't mean much. His name is Sir Drozen. Sir Drozen Larendasi.
The long name.
Well, if you knew my full name, you'd probably spin.
You all have long names. But yeah, they don't like me because I failed one mission and that was my last mission. And then they put the blame on me. Calling me like a traitor and whatnot.
Yeah, I've heard that name. I've heard that term tossed around my way as well. So you're not in ill company. There's a reason that I do work for the Silver Flame, but I don't work for the Silver Flame. I still believe in what the Order stood for. I just don't believe in the direction it's heading. And I do strongly believe that the Silver Flame needs to be restructured and rebuilt with the proper people in power, because the people at the top of that pyramid, as you put it, they've grown corrupt. And it needs to be addressed. And unfortunately, in the position I'm in now, I don't have that power.
That makes
But-
2 of us.
What's that?
That makes 2 of us.
But I feel like if our missions are not too dissimilar, And while your main goal sounds like you just wish to have your family back, my goal might be a little bit loftier, but the ends justify the means. And I feel like we could definitely get what we need back for both of us. And this might just be the step in the right direction to assist us in those goals.
So,
Like I said,
we're fighting undead?
potentially we're going to be fighting at least one, maybe more. From what I understand and from what Sir Drazen said, it seems that Lucan has been contaminated or corrupted by an undead of some sort.
Oof.
And if I had to put my finger on it, there's not very many creatures in this world, especially undead, that drink blood.
I mean,
So
makes sense.
Yeah. And from what we understand, I don't believe that Garrick was an undead of that nature.
Do I know if Garrick was undead of that nature?
There was nothing in your interactions with him that indicated he was.
Okay.
Crazy, yes.
Yeah.
And like he definitely
Fanatical.
reeled, like he was definitely reeling from the pain that we dished out to him as well.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You guys injured him, but you've
Because it felt like he wouldn't, if he was of that nature, he definitely wouldn't have been running, because he'd just turn into whatever form he wants and freaking escape. Because if he's high enough powered, then that's the thing he does.
So, when do we have to start this mission?
I'd figure sooner rather than later, but at the same time, I understand that we've been on the road a lot lately, and I'd be all right with just a touch of downtime, maybe a day or so. We can start it day after next. I figure we can try and track down Phelan to make this a little bit of a smoother transition to getting there, especially since he seems the sort to possibly have dealings in Karnath if necessary.
Yeah. I was just wondering in case I had to switch to water or not.
Oh no, you've got time.
Oh, yeah.
And you see Randall orders himself 2 more
The fancy place.
whatever the top shelf is in this place, because like he assumes it's expensive in this place that Navari is. And he orders 2 more ales with 2 more whiskey shots dropped in, and he hands them a platinum because he assumes that it's expensive, and he just automatically overpays just to be the big spender, because he's not planning on drinking more than that here. So because he's got his own ale in his bag that he can work on.
As long as it don't go on my tab.
Oh, I paid up front, so it might have covered some of yours as well. I just paid 10 gold for 2 ales with whiskey in them.
You'd have to have a squid.
And yeah, I would. I'd have to wait for Ben to be focusing on what we're saying.
And pay attention to us. Notice us.
I'm here.
Notice me, senpai.
Notice me. Notice me, God.
God, I'm burning down the tavern. Do you notice me yet?
No, don't burn down the tavern, please.
We're not even in it. We're in the fancy restaurant.
I've staked a couple of heretics to a cross. Do you notice me yet, senpai?
So, from what I understand, you guys want to take a little bit of a breathing day.
Yeah, basically just to recover and maybe get some downtime in.
Catch up
more
with
money.
Phelan, hopefully.
Spend more
Have him
money.
help with the pursuit.
Yep. I mean, that cart's magical.
It is. Like he's
Legit magical. Like I don't want to go back to horse. Don't make me go back to horse or a war dog.
You also bought expensive ale? If they have it at the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you did hear me. Okay. Yeah, I bought whatever, like I basically gave him a platinum for 2 ales with 2 whiskeys in them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I mean, I'm sure I overpaid.
Yeah,
but I don't
mean,
really
like,
care.
this is one of those places where it's like you grease the palms of the the
Yeah.
bellhops, the waiters, because those are the people that are going to help you.
Mhm.
They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna give you and they're gonna feed you information. So they're used to being overpaid. That's how they survive.
Yeah.
How
It's
they make a
selling
living.
themselves in a sense as informants and spies.
Yeah.
Because this is not, when you get to the higher places in the city, unless you have some kind of obscene wealth, you gotta make it somehow.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So if you guys want to find Phelan, what I want you guys to do is use persuasion as like because there's no gather information skill in this edition, so we're going to use that to see if you can track him down, or investigate if you prefer, or if you have
I am definitely better at persuading over investigation, neither of which am I trained in. So
I have a unnatural 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20!
Dirty 20. Also, do I have to wait till the end of the game to determine how much I spend?
Oh, I'll have the tab.
Oh,
Just a
okay.
second here.
I can't wait to know.
and 12 for Randall.
Okay, Navarre, you spent 95 gold pieces.
Christ.
We're talking places in the city where these
She's just
people,
like
they don't look at their checkbooks.
But
They
I'm just
know they
picturing
have the money.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like how much money that actually is in terms of like the average commoner, which is glorified what we are. We're just adventuring commoners. And she just basically went into a nightclub, went straight up to the bouncer, paid him $50 to get up into the VIP section, and then just dropped $300 and got herself 3 bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
The $100 bottles of champagne.
Randall's not seeing the tab or the check.
No,
no,
he just assumes. He just assumes based on where you were and what he's seen of you so far that you probably spent an exorbitant amount of money there.
I would never. I still have a lot of money.
I'm sure you do.
I still have, out of character, 70 platinum pieces, 63 gold pieces, and 55 silver pieces.
You actually are going to have more platinum than me once this game's over, because I'm going to message Ben to let him know what I wanted done to the armor and axe.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Cool.
And I am going to give up some money for that. So.
You need to look at that tiara still.
I would have assumed I looked at it and spent time with it because it did have magical connotations. Was it because it wasn't something I necessarily had to identify, I didn't think, unless Ben was going to imply that.
So with the mysterious tiara that you bought from Trig the gnome pirate.
I love him. I loved him.
The main enchantment is that if you wear it, it gives you resistance to fire.
The thing I already have.
Yeah.
No, I'm laughing because that would have been infinitely useful when we were in the freaking place.
Should have looked at it sooner.
But you would have had to been wearing a tiara.
No. It's a magical item, right, Ben?
Yeah,
which means it magically resizes to whatever you put it on.
Yeah, it means it fits you, but it's still a tiara.
Yeah, but Randall would take that crap and strap it around his arm.
Oh, yeah.
And bend the metal around his arm, and then it would just form his arm. Yeah.
Let's refit it so you can have an arm hand.
Well, it would be underneath the armor, so you wouldn't even see it.
Oh, come on.
You wouldn't be able to see it.
You don't want to
wear it like a I'll wear it like a bracelet.
You don't want to like bling yourself with a beautiful fiery enchantment bracelet.
I'll bling myself with a fiery enchantment bracelet. Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Awesome.
Randall don't give two F's as to who sees him wearing pretty jewelry.
I'm glad to hear that.
Especially if it's purpose, like everything he does is purpose built, so
someone has to be purposeful.
Did we ever give the Kyber Dragon Shard to because we found that we haven't really figured out what to do with that yet. It's sitting in the bag.
No, we sold it. I thought we sold that thing.
You were gonna like see if you could find potentially a more higher end buyer, or perhaps use it for something for yourselves.
Oh, I thought that's where we got the 75 or 100 gold.
No, that was for the flintlock fire striker thing that we had.
Oh, okay. I'm caught up now.
And I say flintlock fire striker as a descriptor. It's much
Yeah,
more
it's like
arcade
this.
than that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's probably got scripting on it and stuff like that,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
basically like a gigantic firing pin for a gigantic
For a
mortar
magical
shell.
cannon
Yeah.
that can shell somebody that you probably don't see when you're shooting. You just trust that the mages directing you are aiming it properly.
Yeah. Before we start this mission, can I check to see if there's any messages from Lady Aldrin, Aladdin?
Absolutely. Yeah, so you go to the House Orion message station, and there's nothing left for you there yet.
Okay.
And as you guys ask around, it takes you a few hours, but you find Phelan. Or actually, I should say he finds you. You
My
guys
natural
are,
20 makes sense, or not dirty 20.
You guys were walking through the streets, and it's actually not raining right now, but it's still a little gloomy. Because you guys aren't at the top of the city where like there's all the sunlight and stuff, and more of the sky coaches. You're still in like the mid city, but you hear that familiar voice. Oh, I hear you guys would be asking for me. What are we doing? Are we going somewhere dangerous? Hopefully profitable. I hope. Now, hopefully you guys keep me safe. You've been doing good so far, so I don't mind helping you out. But how you doing? What are we doing? Where are we going?
Just hold up his arm jokingly.
Perhaps I know some information that could be helpful to you, because I know some things, I hear some things, and I've also found out from a friend of a friend of a friend that something's missing, and a dwarf and a tiefling are out looking for it. It's hard to keep secrets in this city. I can promise you that.
Phelan, you didn't say bye before.
No, I suppose I didn't, but I was in a bit of a hurry. See, I had to make this deal with somebody, and I'd rather not talk too much about it. I don't like to give my clients away.
You watch Randall as he mentions that commentary, because not very many people should know what we're up to at all. And you see Randall's face get stone cold. Like, he's normally pretty jovial. He's not like he has the gruff exterior, but he's not generally angry. This is when you see his face get cold, like he's gonna kill you, and be like, "Where did you hear about it, Phelan?"
Let me just tell you this. Here's the deal, okay? You see, people know that you've been working with me. People that do jobs on the other side, lists under the legal sense of the thing. And, well, one of them sent me a message and said you might be needed some transportation to a little place called Trollenport. You see, that's where your friend Lucan is headed. And not to say that I've done jobs with him in the past or done anything with him, but I always thought nothing of it, because he always seemed to be, he was always somebody who was nothing malicious. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing things that are a little illegal, of course, but I don't like hurting nobody. Well, then I found out he hurt some people, and now I'm feeling kind of bad, and I want to help you guys catch up with him, and I know where he's going. That's because I know his sister. Now, I know his sister. Well, we're not going to talk much about why I know his sister. Let's just say she's quite beautiful. Now, that being said, she's the one helping him escape, and they have a bit of a head start on us. So if we want to be catching him, we better be moving. And he's going to Trollenport, the gnome city, Trollenport, out in Zalargo. That seems to be where he was born, and he might have some friends who would be there to help him. So if we could catch him before he gets there, we can put an end to this very, very quickly. If you catch my drift.
Lead the way, Phelan.
So he leads you guys to the lower city, to the docks, to the outside the skirts, and he makes some gestures, and he summons up his cart from the ground. He says, "Welcome aboard. Are you ready for an adventure?"
Always. Are you
so
ready,
you guys
Phelan?
climb aboard, and all of you begin taking off, careening down the roads at a very high pace. You're going at a speed that would be faster than probably a Valinor riding horse. But as you drift through the dirt, you go racing past people with this cart. You travel for a few days, and you get to a small roadside inn, like a little town.
So during that time, depending on how smooth the ride actually is, since it's being basically magically drawn by an elemental.
Yep.
Randall is going to work on his brewing process, which up at this point has been fermenting in a cask now for about a week.
Oh yeah,
So
in the haversack.
in the haversack in his cask. He's got a cask of ale basically that's been fermenting for about a week now in the given give or take in a game time. Actually now a week and a few days.
Yeah.
So he's gonna start pulling that out
Okay.
to check on it and start the next process of the fermentation process so that he can get ready drink beer.
Yes, Ashley.
I forgot to say, for like any like downtime I had, not spending money.
Yeah.
Can I use my feature, which is that I can create like I can forge
like a new
documents.
identity.
Yeah, I can forge documents including official papers, personal letters,
Yeah.
as long as you've seen an example of the kind of document or the handwriting you're trying to copy.
Yeah.
I want to make fake letters and like things that like based on Lady Ladrin's handwriting. Like fake
Okay.
things like that'll send people if they get them across the map, not in the direction we're going. To just be like, yes, this is
okay.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they
to
go
leave
like the
fake
opposite
clues.
way. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I don't know if you want me to. I don't know if I have to roll.
We will discuss that later. But if I know what you're working on, we can save the roll for when it's needed.
Okay. I mean, I can create a second identity too, I suppose. Oh, well, yeah, I have created a second identity that includes documentations, established acquaintances, and disguise that allows you to assume that persona.
So on your way, you guys stop at one of these like roadside inns, little like small like little outpost towns, so to speak, and you're greeted warmly because obviously like Phelan is somebody who he's recognized and people in this area of the world do like him because he tends to bring gifts, things, he brings news from afar, and he brings things that people like have trouble getting potentially.
Of course.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. But they're also willing to exchange that information for things. So as you guys pull into one town, Phelan gets out and gets talking to people as you guys prepare a room for the night, and he comes back to you guys and he says, well, I got some good news and some bad news for you guys. Which would you like first?
Bad news.
Always the bad news first.
Well, it seems that our friend has been buying up more horses. You see, he pulled into here, he left his horses, and then he bought some other ones so he can keep them fresh, so he can keep a good pace ahead of us. But the good news is, we're catching up.
Great news.
No horse is faster than your cart, as I understand
There'd
it.
be nothing faster as my cart, except for maybe them damn airships, but flying is very dangerous. You don't want to be flying, trust me. Don't you ever go flying. You fall out of the sky, you'll have enough... Oh, no, I won't ever. My feet don't leave the ground. What are you, crazy?
Randall does some inward thinking of whether he ever gets feather fall.
I was hoping you'd pick him up so his feet would leave the ground.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if he'd let me pick him up. I'll do that. I'll try. I give a wink, like Navari looks at me and I look at Navari, I wink back, and then I try to pick Randall up.
The first steps of conquering your fear.
3, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely stick with Searing Smite over. Wait. Nope, I'll go with that one. Changing up some spells.
Okay.
But yeah, no, so I try to pick him up. Does he do anything? Does he resist?
Oh, you trying to pick up Phelan?
Yeah. He made the so he made the comment.
I thought you I missed that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's why we were just sitting here waiting in anticipation
okay.
and bated breath. Yeah, so basically, because Phelan always says that he never
His feet never leave the ground.
leave the ground, so I'm gonna try and pick him up.
So he does try to avoid your grasp, but he's not like an athlete. He's not a very like strong man by any means, and it catches
Right.
him completely off guard. So he starts to like kick it to like, hey! Don't you be picking me up! Put me down! Put me down! Don't
But I
you
thought
be
you said your
picking me up.
feet would never leave the ground.
Listen, it's figurative speaking, okay? You know, I might jump up and down every now and then, or, you know, sit up on a high stool so my feet aren't touching the ground, but listen here, you ain't ever gonna find me flying. That is grade A nonsense, if you ask me, okay? I do not fly. Flying is very dangerous indeed. Don't you be
Randall
putting me up in no
puts him
air,
down.
okay?
Nonsense.
Oh boy, don't you be scaring me like that. I don't be needing that. No, I don't need that at all. One bit at all. Now, let's see here. Let's get sleeping and let's get up early and get a fine breakfast in us, because guess what? We're catching up and we're going to get these people, these bad folk, and I'm going to get a nice paycheck for helping you out, I assume, right? I'm getting a little bit of the cut, a little bit of the piece here.
Yes.
All right,
You'll
good.
get paid. You'll get paid for your services, Randall. Don't you worry. We take care of you.
I know you do. Thank you, Randall. I appreciate that very much. Now, let's go have a bit of the old night tea, and let's call it a day, shall we?
Mm-hmm. What?
Okay, Ben wanted to drink. His voice is getting a little dry from all that running his mouth there. Oh man.
Do we have to pay for the rooms? How much?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm sure we do, but I mean, it's an inn.
I called dibs on my own room.
That's fine.
Yeah, so
Randall
it's like
sleep in
a
the
very
cart.
expensive like inn by any means. So it's about 2 gold pieces a night. So nothing crazy by any means. That's for sure.
You can share with Phelan, split the cost.
Oh, that's right. Randall or Phelan's cart like sinks into the ground or whatever.
Yeah, like he can actually, because the earth elemental bound inside of it is actually like part of it, so he can actually hide it as long as he's on like ground that's malleable
Solid.
still.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Never mind. I was like, Randall's like, he sleeps in the cart, and then he's like, and then he remembers as he's laying in the cart, Phelan makes it disappear. Oh, that's right.
You could share a room with Phelan.
Oh, come on, Randall. We could share a room. We could stay up late, swapping medley stories, and in the morning I'm going to order us some waffles. It'll be wonderful. We could tell stories of our adventures. I'd love to hear about your time spent fighting in the war. You're quite an older dwarf, aren't you? A bit, you've seen some things, done some things. I bet you got some exciting stories to tell. I don't have much to tell except for all these stories about me running and people I've met and, well, exciting times and beautiful women, and lots of drink and food, and well, there's also that time that I got sort of fired, sort of removed from my position with House Orion because I was doing some things I shouldn't have been doing, which is why I'm a freelancer now, so you don't have to worry about me telling nobody.
Wait, I want to hear that story.
Oh no, that story's for the time last. That's manly stories. We'd be for me and Randall to talk about, not for the light.
Randall just looks at Navari with the coldest stare, like you suck. So bad.
He offered to buy you waffles.
Room together.
Yeah.
He
and
offered
tell
you
stories,
waffles.
and it's like
he offered you waffles.
He did offer you waffles.
You should be sold on the waffles. I would have been sold on the waffles.
I'd like to know where the waffles were made.
He said he'd order, so I'm assuming at the inn.
Well, yeah, but that would have been in the morning when we're leaving.
Yeah.
Not the night when I'm sitting there listening to him. You just see Randall go up to the bar after that suggestion. He drops he'll drop 20 gold on the bar.
Okay.
2 for the room for him and Randall.
Yeah.
And the other 18 for a keg of freaking ale.
So you can just hopefully drink him out.
Just so he can just get drunk. He doesn't even care if Randall drinking. He's just gonna be sitting back there like so
eventually he'll pass out.
Yep.
Phelan will just keep talking.
Yep, pretty much.
I ask for a room away from the room.
No can do.
Dang it, I tried.
You're like, across the hall.
Oh, that's fine.
Don't you be going and doing anything.
Navari doesn't sleep well anyways.
Yeah, you're like, you hear the muttering, and then every so often you just hear And some more
No.
chugging sounds.
No,
Just like these huge burps coming from the
Yeah.
other room, like volcanic.
just drink some wine.
So after a night of listening to Phelan regale you with stories of his endeavors, different times he almost got caught, times where he's had to dump cargo to avoid being arrested.
Randall's just over here, just like, I don't really recall most of it because I was in a bit of a stupor.
He was talking. I mean, I don't think anybody could have at the speed that this man speaks.
Right.
But you guys are all there in the morning, and you gather up your belongings and you head back out on the road.
Rory's not a morning person. He's just tired.
Randall takes the equivalent of 2 Alka-Seltzers and a water for the headache he's got going on. He's doing what is it? Prairie dog or whatever with the freaking sunny side up egg. That's like an uncooked egg with some little salt, some pepper,
Okay, yeah.
and some hot sauce, and he's just like
Like the magic hangover cure.
Yeah.
Of, like, batter, eggs, Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Just the most obscene thing. Like,
Yeah.
Takes your mind right off of it.
And it looks like your guys' story time went well.
Yeah, he can bunk with you next time to catch you up on what he told me about.
No, Randall. I have plenty of stories to keep you entertained. Don't you worry about that.
I just don't want to keep you all to myself.
Oh,
Randall.
no, it's no problem at all. No problem at all, Randall. We're going to be best friends. We're going to know each other so well. We're going to know everything about each other. We're going to be able to read each other's minds and can finish each other's sentences, by the time this journey's over, Randall. I am so glad to be a part of it, though, because you guys always treat me pretty well and keep me safe. So let's get going, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Sorry, Randall. I'm a married woman. I'd like to just sleep by myself.
Oh, don't worry. There won't be any sleeping going on in the room with him talking like that.
I'd like a room by myself.
Don't worry, he can stand outside the door.
That'd be quite rude, though.
So, Phelan continues on with the wagon, and this day, journeying as always, traveling at a good pace through the winding roads along the coast. And as the sun begins to set and it becomes dusk, I want you both to roll me perception checks.
Oh yeah, I'm so good at them. Mm-hmm. 15.
Okay. So you can look out ahead of you, and probably 1,000 feet in front of you guys, you see a wagon being pulled by 4 horses. And riding on top of the wagon, it is like a coach. So, it's got a door, it's got windows to it. It's a little fancy. And, running this wagon appears to be, a figure with long red hair.
Hey, Randall, does the figure have long red hair? The person you know?
Wait, what figure? Where? What?
It's way off in the distance. You probably can't see it. I point at it anyways.
I would have gotten a descriptor of Lucan, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that match any descriptor I would have had?
No,
long red hair?
The red hair does, yes, because that is like a
family.
But the length of it does not match up. But as Phelan had told you guys, his sister is helping him.
Yeah. So Randall leans over to Phelan and goes, "Hey, Phelan, how long was Lucan's sister's hair? Pretty long?
It was quite long, very long indeed. She's quite striking, very bright red. Oh my goodness! As he looks up ahead, and realizes
why I'm asking.
Yeah, because he obviously did not succeed either. But he's like, shall we make our presence known?
Question: is she going to hate you?
Does she already hate you?
I'd rather not answer that question.
So yes.
And then
I didn't say yes.
Randall just takes the hammer off and he says, "Get me close."
Hey,
is it sunny out right now?
It's gloomy because like the sun
Okay.
is setting.
Hey, Phelan, do you want to disguise?
Do I want to disguise?
Yep.
What if I'd like
So
a
they can't
disguise.
recognize you.
So you don't get recognized?
Oh, well, I could just do this, and he grabs like his hood and he pulls it up over his face. They won't recognize me if I do this.
That looks kind of shady, don't it, though?
Well, I mean, we're traveling. It keeps the dust out of my mouth.
I mean, I could...
Haven't you ever crossed the Talenta Plains or the deserts at all? This is what you have to do. You have to dress light and keep yourself covered to keep the sun from burning your skin
I
and to
pull out...
keep the dust from coming into you.
I pull out the scarf of disguise that I have and just wrap it around the same way, but a bit tighter.
Around Phelan.
Yeah, around Phelan.
So you just kind of like...
That's a scarf of
You're gonna
disguise.
watch-
I want it back, and if you don't give it back, I'm gonna be highly sad and angry at you.
You're gonna want to watch that after he's done with
Basically, the
Igapari.
disguise like turns onto him, but with a mustache.
I hate you so much.
This really
Ew.
thick mustache. Do I look different enough? Do you think they'll
No.
recognize me?
No. They'll definitely recognize you.
So then, like, he uses it to age himself. So now he's like 20 years older. So his skin kind of wrinkles back, and the mustache is still there. Now, how about now?
I'm so glad you gave that to him.
Change your hair color.
He kind of like makes faces like he's concentrating on it because he's not really sure how to. He's not really
Randall.
sure how he's making it work.
Phelan, make yourself look like Randall.
Still Randall's.
His face like starts to like expand just a little. And he grows a whole bunch of hair, and like he doesn't quite get everything right. But he looks more like a dwarf now.
Excellent.
go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Do
Now
you
get me
think-
close so I
do
can
you-
jump into
Do you
their
think
cart.
they know that a dwarf and tiefling are going after him?
I'm sure that they believe the church sent somebody after them.
I could change how
Liv-
I look too. It'll be.
So I'm going to
different.
ask you guys to start with rolling initiative.
Come on, 1. Yeah.
Was it a 1?
Yep.
Oh
0.
my gosh. Oh.
somebody in the chat said mustache on his finger.
Oh, so he's like doing this. Yes. Oh yeah, that would be brilliant.
That would absolutely be Randall too.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, it's gonna be glorious. Hey, I wouldn't be Randall the Agile if I didn't roll crap on my initiatives every single time.
We should have a
So what did you get,
tracker
Randall?
of how many times
0.
you get a 1.
Okay.
Like
If
I
it
said, I
helps,
was like,
so the wagon, which is being driven by Phelan,
Yeah.
is acting on 2.
I go right after. That's perfect. He can get
So
me
Nabari,
close, and I can
you're,
jump on.
You guys are about 800 feet away, and you can see the wagon in front of you. Navari, is there anything that you want to try to do right now?
I can't shoot a bow, can I? Far away? I don't remember the range of a short bow. Probably not that far. Let me look, let me look.
You go 320, so you're not close enough yet for a short bow.
Well, can I hide in the back of the cart?
Yeah, you could take cover in the cart. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh gosh, oh no. Shimon came unmuted. Sorry. Oh, that is... Uh, 18?
Okay. You notice the woman who's driving the cart looks over her shoulder and sees that she's, being followed, and
It's a path. People go.
yeah, but you
Sorry,
are
but-
trying to catch ground with her, so it is possible she may catch something out of the ordinary. So Phelan continues to spur the wagon, and he kicks it into high gear, giving it a much doubling its pace, closing the distance by about half, so to 400 feet. Randall, what are you doing this turn?
How many turns do I think it'll take for us to close the gap?
Two turns at this pace.
I am gonna do some prep work then.
Okay.
I'm going to channel my divinity for sacred weapon,
Okay.
which basically just imbues my weapon with holy radiance. I'm using that maul, and it's now glowing a soft glow in a 20-foot radius. And I'm also going to cast Wrathful Smite on my weapon, which will, for the next minute while I'm concentrating on it, give it 1d6 psychic damage additionally for every hit.
Okay.
So those are the two things I'm doing. And I say, just get me close, Phelan. That's all I need.
Finn says, I get you close. I get you real close, Randall. Let's make this happen. And so we go back to the top of Navari, who continues to stay low, prepping her moment to be able to draw her bow and fire upon them. The red-haired woman, you could hear her start screaming. She says, wake up! Wake up! We're under pursuit! They must be on to us. You could hear her shout, kind of like a very grizzled, her voice isn't soft and sweet. She sounds tough, street tough, mean and powerful. Go ahead and roll me a perception check too. Is she
just the way Randall likes his women? I gotta stop rolling this die. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So she gestures in some form, but you don't know what she's doing. You don't notice anything. She might be just waving. She might be signaling, but whatever,
right.
You can hear her shouting.
Right. I just assume that it has something to do with Lucan.
Yeah. Yep. That's fair. Phelan says, all right, we're going to catch up now. We're getting real close, I say. And he spurs the wagon into a higher gear to keep pace with hers in the wagon that you guys are chasing. He kicks it. There's rocks flying up everywhere. The elementals pursuing. He's like, I can't keep this pace long, but we can do it for a short burst. So let's make this count, shall we? And he gets you guys within 200 feet of their wagon.
Sick.
All right, Navari. So you are ducked down in the back of your wagon, waiting for your moment to strike. You're within range that you could take a bow shot now, but it's still going to be at disadvantage just because of the distance, but you can actually attempt the shot if you so desire.
I would like to attempt a shot on one of the horses.
On one of the horses? Okay.
Because I figured kill the horse. Because they're all hooked together. Yeah.
Yep.
It kind
kill
of
the horse,
calls it,
save the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of stops
like
everything if you kill a horse because they're all chained together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrible thing.
But a realistic tactic that was used in those days.
Mm-hmm.
I most likely miss. You said at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a horse. It has low AC.
It's only a 9 though.
Okay,
an 11
so you
and
fire.
3.
You fire your arrow, and it just seems to because you're aiming for the horse, but there's the wagon in the way, the rider, and you just see it it sticks into the wagon. And the woman turns her head and looks at you, and she throws her hand out as if she's throwing something at you guys. And as the wagon continues to ride forward, I need you to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh,
as
of course.
a small bead explodes in a flash of fiery death. Phelan screams like a banshee at
7.
the explosion. Randall,
22.
you take full damage. Navari, you're going to take half. So 25 points of damage.
To me, or?
So Navari, that would be 12 for you, and Randall, that's going to be 12 before resistance.
Of course.
Wait, is it resistance too?
So yeah, your resistance would kick in, Ashley, so you'd only take 6.
Okay.
Don't worry, I maintained concentration on my spell, though.
Good, good. Yeah, so there's an explosion of fire from the red-haired, because the red-haired woman has literally thrown a spell at you guys, and you hear her curse, shout, "Ah!" as she's being chased. And then from the back of the wagon, you see the door fly open sideways, and you see a man with short red hair and like a cloak over his head. The main thing that gives him away is his eyes are glowing a deep red as he looks back at you guys. And Phelan is scorched and hurt badly. He's coughing, and you could see burns all along his body. And he says, "Listen, guys, don't let them do that to me again. I'm trying to hold on here. Make it count if we catch him." Randall, what do you do?
I take a potion of healing for myself, and then I force feed, and I use lay on hands and drop 10 hit points into Phelan.
So Phelan coughs a little bit more as if like he's inhaled a lot of smoke. And he's like, "Oh, thank you. I feel a little bit better. Now, please, like I said, just don't let him do that to me again. Oh, it's getting dangerous here."
Can you hide?
You're telling me.
Can he hide in the back of the cart while driving the cart? Is there some animals? Oh.
Yeah.
He has to be at the control because like it's an elemental powered thing, so you have to like you have to be in contact to be able to drive it forward, kind of
It's
thing.
no different. The only difference is there's no animals to take out on ours. There's just the Phelan.
Yeah. Yep. Or if they damage it enough, the earth elemental gets loose and kills everybody.
Hey, at least it's equally going to try and kill them.
If they're close, yeah.
So what you're saying is get closer to them.
Yep.
Got it.
All right. So you guys are within, so Phelan has spurred the wagon. And he gets you guys within about 50 feet, okay? So, you are almost on top of them. So, Navari, what do you want to do?
Now you can kill a horse.
Kill a horse? Get PETA after me?
Hashtag horse lives matter.
No, I rolled really low again.
Oh, come on!
Unless
no
I have
disadvantage,
advantage.
though. You...
Can I use my inspiration to roll again?
Yes,
can.
I will. Yes, absolutely.
I forgot we had
Spend it.
inspiration.
Spend it.
Nope.
Oh no!
So I rolled.
She fires again.
She
hits the door of the cart.
I rolled a 2 and then a 1.
No! Yes, your arrow hits the door of the wagon, and you hear this loud, almost like a howl, this unearthly animal howl come from the man hanging his head out, who is obviously most Lucan, with a cloak over his head and his eyes glowing brightly. The woman on top, once again, this time...
I use a bonus action real quick?
Yeah.
Can I hand Phelan a health potion?
Yes, you can.
Hand him a health potion.
Okay. The woman on top, this time, she fires multiple little bolts of energy. Each one of them kind of has a resemblance to like a black arrow flying at you. She cast magic missile, and they all shatter themselves against the cart, doing a little damage. Boom, 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 but nothing too substantial. But multiple hits like that cannot be good for you guys, to put it delicately.
If only I can hit
a horse.
Yeah. Do you have anything to hit the horse?
I got a javelin.
And Lucan once again lets loose this animalistic primal howl, and this time it is answered from both sides of your cart by a chorus of wolves howling as well.
We're doomed.
Oh!
Interesting.
Phelan says, "Listen, guys, I've heard that sound before. That sounds like some very angry puppies. We gotta go. Shall we just let them escape and catch up later? Come on, I know where they're headed, guys. Please, we have to be careful here. I don't want to die." He takes the potion that Navari gave him, bites the cork, spits it out, chugs it, and he's still feel a little shaken. He's a little nervous. He took a lot of a beating.
So did Randall.
He's he's with you. He's trying to hold it together. He'll hold it steady.
Phelan, if you can get us close, They can't. Those wolves, those whatever they are, those puppies can't possibly outpace your cart.
No,
I
but
just need to be within jumping distance. And I swear I'll bring that cart to a stop.
You do know that means the other people can still hit Phelan? I mean, he doesn't look like
not
Phelan,
if they're
but...
not if they're busy with me, they can't. Little tiny dwarf tornado's about to drop into their cart.
yeah. So he gets the wagon begins to catch up, and he gets within like about 10 feet of theirs. And like, so if you were gonna try to jump it, this is probably your
This
best
is where I'm
moment.
gonna do it.
You could see the look of like almost terror on the face of the woman, and you could get a really good look at Lucan's face. You could see that like the skin has is like a little bit tighter across his bones. You could see that like the color from his skin is like drained. It's almost like he's like a gray gaunt white. Navari, you're on top of the wagon. You guys are very close. You could fire at pretty much anybody you wanted, or you could try to board the wagon, which is what Randall's plan is. What do you want to do?
Board the wagon.
You're going to try to jump?
Yeah.
Make an athletics check.
Is that athletics or acrobatics?
Yep.
It's athletics.
I'm not gonna jump then.
Okay, that's fine.
My strength is 0.
You're good.
I guess I'll aim for a horse again.
Okay.
Or the woman at this point.
I wanted to knock the woman out.
Okay. Hey, if you drop their cart to a 0 halt,
Yeah.
I'm afraid those wolves are gonna catch up if we're not moving.
I mean, I'll aim for the woman then.
Okay.
Just do what you want to do.
17 a hit.
Your arrow appears to be able to strike true, but with a flash of her hand and a wave, you see this like shield of shimmering, faint blue energy come up, and the arrow literally shatters against it, as if she summoned a spectral shield to protect herself at the last possible moment.
Where the horse is.
Okay.
She looks over at you guys, and she decides to return fire directly at you, Navari.
So
you see
wait,
4...
doesn't Phelan go and then me? I thought, because Phelan's driving the cart, right? You said Phelan was 2 and I was 1.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was confused, because I was like, you went straight to Navari, and I'm like, Randall would have jumped by now.
All right, Randall, roll your athletics check.
Yeah, I was like, I want on that cart. And I rolled crud, but I am going to re-roll with my inspiration and say, Lady of Silver, don't let me down. That's much better. 23.
Randall, you crash onto the top of the cart. You hit the very secure, sturdy roof of the top of it.
Oh.
And you were only like a few steps behind Grisella.
Kill that lady.
I bring the hammer down. I just like off my head. I'm just like this down on top of the front of this wagon. Randall's gonna go for a bit of a tumble, I'm feeling. That is 19 to hit.
That is gonna hit.
1, 2.
It's not great.
3. Divine Smite. Let's roll 5d6 and see if she's still standing after this. Not bad, not bad. 12 plus... So 15 plus 19 points of damage.
Ooh. Wow, she screams in pain. Ah, brother! And he says, you knew what you signed up for! The end of this will redeem both of us, and I can have anything we want. Your sacrifice will not be left in vain, he shouts back to her as he bamfs into a cloud of a gaseous mist and begins to take off through the air. The wolves continued to pursue. You could hear them, and if you look back, you could see their outlines as Phelan's wagon is too much for them to catch, but they continued to try to catch up with you guys. He's like, guys, don't leave me alone on the wagon, please, Navari, don't leave me alone on the wagon. Now, Randall, you're going again because when I get really excited, I skip things in initiative by accident. So now it's actually your turn again. I'm so sorry.
So what did the woman do then? After taking the hit, she didn't retaliate at all?
She yelled to her brother.
Fired. I had her do her action before you because I messed up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she fired magic missiles again at your cart.
Hey, you should convince her to work for us because her brother just dipped out.
Yeah, but she knows. She knows what her brother is.
Oh yeah.
Choosing the side of evil isn't the way to go. And Randall is going to he's going to jump back over to their cart, but before he does, he's going to take one of his javelins and throw it into the horse.
Okay.
The pole horse.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a +6, so 17 to hit.
Okay.
I don't think. And I just got to check something real quick for my spell.
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, only with a melee weapon attack. Okay. That's 8 points of piercing damage to the horse.
Ouch. So you see the horse get hit and it loses a step of its gait. Now you're gonna jump back to your wagon?
Yeah, as I throw, I'm literally turning and jumping off.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll athletics to leap back onto your wagon.
That's gonna be 20. No,
okay.
Yeah, 20.
So you land next to Phelan, who helps you get to your balance. He's like, "Oh, thank you, Randall, for coming back. Now, what are we about to do about this? Everything that's going on here is getting really scary." And you see her stand up, the woman with red hair.
Yeah.
And she looks back at you guys, and she appears to kind of open like a portal, like a gash into the air, and she steps through it as a bonus action, and you were not really sure where she goes. So I want you both to roll perception checks.
She just totally misty stepped.
Mm-hmm.
That or dimension door. But if it was a bonus, I didn't roll good. 6.
I don't know where my 1 dice went. No, I'm worried. I rolled a 7.
All my dice are rolling.
Yeah, the 1 dice that rolled well is missing.
Or Randall's not real perceptive either, so it's got a 0 modifier.
I have a +1. I think Oshara was our perceptive one. Where'd that dice
yeah, she
go?
is.
Oh, there it is. Now I find it after.
Phelan got a 7. So
I did. Oh, we're twinning.
And Randall still did worse than both of you.
I found the good dice after I rolled.
So we didn't see where she went, but we know that she's no longer on the cart.
Correct.
Watch her be on our cart.
No, don't worry, because what we're gonna hear next is the blood-curdling screams as the wolves tear her apart that got called in by her brother.
Or her hitting our cart.
Yeah, you just bump bump.
She teleported in front. Wait! I didn't think this through.
No, I meant with magic missile.
Oh yeah, you just hear thump 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 thump. As the elemental gets unleashed and starts wailing on us. And we all die. A horrible, grimy death.
So her horses continue to run forward, terrified and confused, basically. The wolves seem to give up pursuit, as if whatever summoned them there has kind of, left the scene, so it's no longer completely controlling them. And with her nowhere in sight, that is where we're going to end tonight.
I wish we would have found her. Would have tried. I was no help during that fight.
That's okay. That was a Randall moment right there.
Believe me, there's going to be a lot more to come.
And Ashara is gonna or Navari is gonna have her moment.
Oh, yeah.
Because Randall is undoubtedly. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't make me fall off the cart with that dexterity check, but I guess it was a fireball that she threw, not a.
Yeah.
I was thinking like she threw something and it created a freaking crater and the cart dipped for a second. And
No,
Randall's
it was a fireball spell, so it doesn't so it's just like an explosion of flame.
Yeah, Randall was expecting to go over the side for a second when you're like, make a dexterity check, and he's just like, oh wait, I actually took half of that damage because I have fire resistance, and Navari only took 6 points of damage because she's got quarter damage.
Because I passed dexterity and I
So I'm actually not as hurt as I thought. I'm actually at 40 hit points after that healing potion.
It's a good thing I bought 5 healing potions.
Mm-hmm.
I gave 2 to you. I gave 1
mind
to
you,
Phelan.
Phelan was down to 5.
Yeah, no,
why I gave
Phelan
him
was
the
probably
health
jacked up.
potion.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah, but when you hit me for 25, I was down at 21.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wait, that's not right. I have fire resistance. I even put it at the top of my character sheet underneath my poison resistance that I have as a dwarf.
Yeah. Because you have the tiara now, like,
Yep.
It's a very beautiful piece of jewelry.
It stands out above my armor for now.
For now.
So.
But anyway, we just want to say, first of all, thank you all for chiming in to Heart of the Game here on Twitch. And if you are watching on YouTube, Heart Gaming that is. And if you are not watching on YouTube, feel free to check out Heart Gaming over there. Give us a like, hit subscribe, share with your friends. We do have some more videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. Actually, we will be posting a new video tomorrow, giving you guys a look into an independent game designer called Puzzling Pixel Games. Which is a couple of games we started carrying, which are called Conclusio and Abandons. And in that YouTube video, I give you a brief synopsis on what they're about and where you can pick them up, such as your local gaming store. But I just want to, again, say thank you all for coming in to watch tonight. We really appreciate it. And hopefully you want to come back next week and bring some friends with you. And if not, always check us out on YouTube. Play D&D. Make lots of friends, be safe, everybody, be good to each other, and have a great night.
Play more games.
Yes, play games. It's good for the soul, mind, and body.
True.